Last time on Solo Female Van Life Lessons. Walking up this path to the backside of the furnace. In flip-flops. That would have been cool, dangerous, but cool if they had let you look down. It's still pretty neat.
Story for you, which I really would like to tell you about. But anyways, actually I was the most powerful congressman during and after the Civil War. I helped persuade Lincoln to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. I was instrumental in the passage of the 13th Amendment, as shown in the movie Lincoln, where I was ably portrayed by Tommy Lee Jones, though I did not have a text to draw on. I spearheaded the impeachment of Andrew Johnson, and I was one of the architects of Reconstruction. I'm also the father of the 14th Amendment, the single most important amendment to the Constitution, requiring equal treatment under the law, and also extending civil liberties to the state level. This, on the other hand, this iron mill operation was the worst mistake of my life. I started in 1837. By 1842, I was $200,000, which is like millions of dollars in the market. And some of my friends urged me to declare bankruptcy, but I said, I may use the bankruptcy laws in the next life, but in this life, I'm going to pay everything. So I left Gettysburg, where I was a prominent attorney, and moved over to Lancaster so I could make more money to pay down the debt. I continued losing money here in the 80s by sinking fund, but started making a little bit of money in the 1860s because of the war. But that was put to an end in 1863 when Confederate General Doyle was winning the Battle of Gettysburg and especially stopped here and burnt my place to the ground because of my abolitionist positions.
Only 81 degrees now and feels considerably cooler. I am on my way to the campground to see if I can get a shower while everyone's having dinner. It's 6 o'clock, 6:11. And this is the way up to the amphitheater anyway, so hopefully I'll be able to scout out a shower up here and then attend the program. Shower accomplished. It was lovely. I went at 6 o'clock and there was no one in the shower. Someone did come in later. We were the only two. I'm on my way to find something for dinner. I want to do fast food, but I don't want to cheat on my lifestyle diet. I'm going to see what they have. I'm just going to go down 30. I'm sure there's a ton of things to eat at. Why can't I talk? No English. It's only 77 degrees right now. It's feeling lovely. The program doesn't start until 8:30, so I need to kill some time. I'm sunburned on the left side of my body and my chest, but not my right. So I was carrying an umbrella most of today, but somehow I got burned anyway. I'm on that Lyme disease medication. It's an antibiotic, and you're very sensitive to sunlight. Unfortunately, I got a little burned, but I'll survive. And getting rid of the trash. Good morning. It's the next day, so it's day 2 at Michaud State Forest. I think the rangers pronounce it Michaud. I always learn different pronunciations. So Michaud State Forest has 3 state parks in it. One of them is Caledonia. And Caledonia was the iron furnace of Thaddeus Stevens. Thaddeus Stevens was a congressman during the Civil War. He was an absolute abolitionist, and he had President Lincoln's ear, and Thaddeus Stevens was instrumental in helping to pass, well, not to pass, but to write and proffer the 13th and 14th Amendments. He was all about equality for African Americans, obviously no slavery, and for women, as a matter of fact. He wanted to count all people as one person for counting the population or the number of representatives in Congress. And so therefore he wanted to count African Americans and women, which would have probably given women the vote sooner. Anyway, Thaddeus Stevens is one of my heroes. He was so far ahead of his time. The gentleman who gave the program yesterday at the blacksmith shop about Thaddeus Stevens is the president and founder of the Thaddeus Stevens Society. He's a hoot. It's interesting to me, probably not to anyone else. So this is my third day here, spent my second night last night, and it rained. So went to, after the Thaddeus Stevens program at the blacksmith shop, I went to the same ranger led another program up at the amphitheater. I thought it was going to be the geography and topology of the Gettysburg battlefield. He basically just gave us a summary of the Gettysburg battle and some interesting trivia. It's Sunday morning and I'm going to be heading home because it's supposed to rain all day. But it was so hot last night. And I had my 2 window screens you can see behind me. Last night was 82 when we went to the program at the amphitheater at 8:30 p.m. which was fine because it had cooled down from a very hot 91, 92, and so it felt comfortable in contrast. But there was no breeze, even though later, even when it started raining, there was just no breeze. And I had trouble falling asleep, even though I was tired. So I slept in this morning at 7:30 right now. And the only reason that I'm awake right now is because I'm at a trailhead, which is also a campsite. And there was a gentleman walking his dog, and I could hear the gravel, and it woke me up. I'm comforted to know that if I hear a sound, even what I consider something as quiet as just footprints on gravel, that I will wake from a pretty dead sleep because it's such a different sound. So that's good. I had a really good time this weekend. Would I do it again? Yes. There's so much opportunity here for free car camping that I wouldn't reserve a site. Yeah, I don't think I'd change anything else. I got everything accomplished. I found free water. I did find free camping spot. When I pulled up last night in this camping spot, the 2 people were still here. So I got out. I said, forget it. I don't care that they're here. I'm just going to sleep next to them. I got out and I put up my SUV tent, which was a lifesaver because without it, I would not have had any air whatsoever. And I read my book with my light on for a while and just ignored them, and it was fine. This has been a lovely visit. All 3 of the programs were delightfully something different than I expected. What did I accomplish? I got free water. I got a shower. I scoped out free camping spots. Not gonna hike today. I was hoping that by now I would start feeling better from my Lyme disease, but I don't have all that much energy. I'm feeling better. I just don't have the energy to go on a 5-mile hike. I think I'm just gonna go out for breakfast and coffee on the road, and I'm gonna hit the road early this morning and get back to my kids. That's it. That about wraps up my trip. So it's about 7:30 in the morning. I'm gonna go ahead, pack up, and hit the road. Thanks for coming along on this solo journey. I was interested in doing this solo trip because I do plan to launch a solo US trip after I retire. And there's a plane going overhead. And traveling and camping solo is very different than meeting up with friends at a campground. It can be more lonely. I am an introvert and I don't often get lonely. Hiking is obviously a concern if you get injured on the trail and you're alone. So it's starting to rain again. Going solo is very different. And I actually got to meet the ranger of the Micho State Forest, the supervisor, Ranger Jim. I got to talk with Thaddeus Stevens for 4 hours. To also talk with Ranger Wes. So it was a very conversational weekend, even though I wasn't with anyone. And it was just enough. So there are weekends when I would prefer not to talk to anyone and just be alone. If you have a weekend where you are traveling solo and you don't want to be alone, join a group. There's so many Facebook groups out there and meetup groups out there for van life or solo females traveling that you can meet up with strangers. I do this all the time. So, and what happens though is because I meet up with strangers, the strangers become friends. And then I have to start up another group to meet up with strangers, because one of the things I like to do is to meet new people and experience that diversity. Diversity of people's backgrounds, diversity of their interests, diversity of just their personalities. My hope is that I will be meeting up with people as I travel. So I'll have a lot of time solo, but I'll also have those moments of meeting up with people that I've talked to online that don't feel like strangers, but meeting them in person for the first time. So I don't think that I will feel lonely on the road. I think I'll miss my kids and my family, but I don't think I'll feel lonely on the road. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm not gonna show you travel back home. You've seen all that countryside before, although I get inspired by it. I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful, and I turn on the camera. All right, guys, as usual, thanks for watching. See you next time.